raise your hands, and we'll get one of the floor mics to you, and we'll go ahead. Hands up.
No questions, huh? All right.
The real easy, broad question. It's kind of a turnover in the field. You talk about how the veteran returning are and versus how the late arriving young guys are.
Yeah, we'll start with Kenny McIntosh, a senior, who had a really, really nice spring. He showed a lot of leadership in this summer's work program, and he's doing a great job of mentoring the two young guys that have just come in, Branson Robinson and Andrew Paul. Kendall Milton Jr., who has suffered some injuries each year that he's been here. He's been very healthy this spring, and he's also been healthy this summer. So we're looking for big things out of him, and he also serves in a leadership role because he had the opportunity to get led by James and Zamir, 4-year guys, along with Kenny. So with those two guys, along with Dejon Edwards, who's been a consummate student athlete, when you say very unselfish, a team player, knows his role, fits. He's going to be on as well this year because he adds a value to the football team.
Yeah, you touched on the injuries Kendall has had. How do you think that has impacted his development, and now that he is seemingly healthy so far?
He's looked great during fall camp. The development piece, you lose rep. You're not on the football field. The way we structure this and have walkthroughs, he's getting those mental reps that are well needed against various looks. So from that perspective, he's still inclined to be a good performer on Saturday nights and Saturday afternoons.
Hey, Coach. Paul from the outside looking in looked like a last-minute addition to this past recruiting class. Definitely wasn't in the media side of things as a Branson Robinson. Just wanted to know what you saw in him and what he brings to the table.
Comes from a good high school program. They won a championship. He was 6 foot, 220 pounds, so he has great size, has good speed. He's a great kid, has a great family. Very, very quiet, hard worker, so fits the character things that we're looking for in our football players. And we also needed the running back. We always like to 5 on our roster. Our allotted number is 6, but we're being short of that number because of the talent that we've had in the room. But he's just getting here. He wasn't a mid-year, so he's kind of behind from a mental standpoint. We'll get a chance to evaluate him further in scrimmage on Saturday, which I know all our guys are going to be looking forward to that.
Just following up on Paul getting in on a guy late like that, and I think Clemson was in a pretty good school. How does Georgia come into the scene that late and have the pull to get a guy like that that's, even though his star rating may have been as high, was pretty sought after by championship programs?
Well, he has family from Georgia, so there was a connection there. The running back tradition here speaks for itself. Tradition was developed way before I got here, and just getting in there the late month of December and the whole month of January, it led the opportunity of me getting to know him, getting to know his family, him getting to know me, and just what he wanted, goals and aspirations fit coming to Georgia.
McGee, 2 questions. One, there had a lot of running backs built like Branson Robinson. He seems a little bit.
Yeah.
Second, can you tell us about some of the other guys on the team that you recruited? Everyone knows you as being running backs coach, but there are a lot of guys on this team that I don't know, primary recruit, but you would definitely know. Give some of those names.
Branson, the way he's built like a brick house. Doesn't have a neck. Just referring back to one of my teammates, to Keo Spikes. He's very, from the shoulders up, built like Keo Spikes. Nick Chubb was a good-looking student athlete as well. But Branson's more than just muscle. He's very dedicated. He works hard, obviously, in the weight room and strength and conditioning. But he's a sharp young man and going to be relied upon this year. With the second question, as a staff, we have to go out and help recruit other positions. When I'm signing only 2 running backs, and I got a great relationship and rapport with high school coaches. I feel like I can talk to any parent, any mix, any race, any socioeconomic status. I try to fit in where I can to help get the best players here. As being one of the longest tenured coaches here, that's just part of what Coach Hart wants, and whatever he wants from me, I'm going to definitely do it.
I think from the public point, Edwards is maybe the best top running back in this room. What can you tell people that they don't know? And what does he bring to the table? They're going to see it.
He's really quiet. He's not going to be a boastful guy. He doesn't talk a whole lot. But what you're going to get is what you see on Saturday. You've seen he's very unselfish. He closed out a lot of games. He wasn't a guy that was pouting because he didn't get in earlier in the game. He adds value and has a role on special teams, and that's a very, very important component of our success on the football field. He's going to be a competitor, and he's having a great camp thus far, and he had a great spring too. So expecting great things out of Dejan. And he's graduated into a role where he's going to get snaps.
When Glenn came up and talked to us a few days ago, I mean, he talked about how long we've been here now. You two obviously were on that. Just how much have things changed for you around the program from going way back then to where things stand now?
Well, first off, we don't have to take that 15-minute bus ride to the solar panels. So that was that definite comfort. The only thing we lost in that was a little connection piece. You got a chance to talk to your players before and after practice on those bus rides. But, the facility speaks for itself. I mean, it's the best facility in the country. Our kids are well-deserving, and they're treated very, very well. It adds to our practice efficiency on a day-to-day basis. Other than the fact of our fields not being side by side, I think that's probably the only drawback that we have right now, the distance that you have to travel from one field to another. And we practice two spots. It add yards, unwanted yards that's not needed, and it can cut efficiency of practice at times.
Technical coordinator for your title. How have you seen this offense evolve with bringing new principles in, kind of modernizing without getting the line probably
First, and it goes back to recruiting. We recruited very, very well on the offensive line, so everything starts up front. Going to Coach Monken, he's a very, very smart, detailed, consistent coach. He's going to demand a lot from the coaches, and he also demands a lot out of the players. I think he does a great job of identifying the personnel, what fits certain plays, trying to use the dynamics of individual players to maximize their abilities on Saturdays. Say his NFL system fits us. He didn't come in and try to change every single thing. And he's also open to ideas. That's one thing, gives us a lot of input. And when you talk about adding Mike Bowe, a 20-year-plus coordinator, Buster Faulkner, 11-plus coordinator, Brian McClendon, who's been an offensive coordinator as well, you have a lot of knowledge, experience. He leans on that too. And I think it's a real joy to work with Coach Mike. I've learned a lot from him. Like I say, he's very particular in the details of small things and little things, and he holds everyone accountable.
Yeah. Plus, right, I guess receivers too. How do y'all go about the decision to rotate guys within the game? Is there set planning going into it? Is it in the moment who has a hot hand, who needs to break? What are those decisions like? Rotate guys like that?
Well, the decisions are made during practice, so you got to show that you understand the details of the assignment. Then you got to execute whatever is called during practice. And I think through practice, you build days up and you stack days. You build confidence in the coaches, and you try to find roles for those guys. So everything that we do and make decisions about all come from how you do in practice, execute those assignments.
Coach Schumann the other day said that you guys, as coaches, are spending more time here with the players and the other coaches than you are your own families. Needed to admit that. I wanted to know what that sacrifice has been like for you when you encompass your job in total coaching and recruiting. If you could just tell us a little bit more about
If you're married, you gotta have a strong wife at home to kind of choreograph the day of the kids and bills. I don't even know what's in my checking account. I don't do nothing in regards to house note insurance. So I think having a great leader at home is big, and then just stressing to your kids that this is a sacrifice. And it's tough at times, but Coach Smart does a great job of allowing us to get back home and spend time with our families. The biggest time consumptions are, right now while we're in camp. But once you get into the season, you get in kind of a routine, and from Saturday after the game all the way to Wednesday, you're going to grind. Then we get the opportunity to go straight home after practice on Wednesday. So we kind of have our day Wednesday family, and Thursday is the same. Sometimes not the case for myself or non-coordinators, because on Thursday sometimes we have to get in place to recruit and watch prospects play on Friday night. But it's part of the job, and I love the job that we have, and it's us giving back.
So, just a decade ago was your last season at Carver, right?
Okay, yeah, that's right, about right.
Kind of talk about just your journey years now. Now you're in your 7th year, run game coordinator here at Georgia. Just kind of talk about your journey to this point over the last decade.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing about it. Being a high school coach really taught me a lot, how to talk and communicate with the kids. I constantly had parents that weren't involved, that I had to try to get involved. We had a very, very low socioeconomic status of kids when I was at Carver, so resources weren't necessarily there. So just being connected to my players, communicating with my players and parents, just getting the right things at the right time really mattered. And at the end of the day, it's about people, how you treat people, relationships that you develop and have with your players and parents. And I still have continued relationships with guys I've coached in high school, as well as here at Georgia. I think that's just important. More than a coach, when you get me, you're getting someone that's going to be what I call part of your lifeline forever. I get invited to weddings, and my ex-players tell me when they're having kids and things that they're going through, or they ask for advice in the profession or even outside the profession. So as a coach, you wear a lot of different hats, and being a high school coach, the only thing I have to do now is cut grass and line the field and fertilize grass. So those are things that have kind of stopped. But just being around people, I love that. I've been part of a locker room since I was basically 10 years old. So just being part of that team component, that camaraderie, celebrating after wins in the locker room, that's just the best part of my job.
Coach, you mentioned Kenny. Coach Monken talked a lot about Kenny's versatility earlier, and he was another guy. I guess you got in late, had to beat Oklahoma for him. Played South Florida, and recruit a guy like that. Kind of been overshadowed. All the talks of the mirror and Cook. Now he's a senior. What's his ceiling, do you think, for Georgia?
He can do everything. He can run inside the tackles. He can run outside the tackles. He's really good on the perimeter. Has really, really good hands. Probably one of the best hands since DeAndre. He's good at running outs. He's a physical blitz pickup, third down. So he's definitely a complete back. And he's learned a lot from James and Zamir, and is also a good example of, just like James and Zamir was, of just staying the course, not being too anxious to enter the NFL or enter the transfer portal. Just being patient, and hopefully all his hard work and his patience are going to pay off this year. The sky's the limit for him, and he's definitely going to be an integral part of our offense, and he'll be relied upon heavily. And he also adds value to our special teams, too, as a kick returner, and our punt team started last year.
When you came here in 2016, how many years did you take, and what's it been like to see, where you were when
Yeah, well, I mentioned the solar panel, so that was part of it. And then if you just think about it from a wins and losses going from the Liberty Bowl to playing at the pinnacle of the championship in 17, and then again this past year. That's what you thrive to do as a coach. I think you can also look at the fact that we only had one player drafted after that 2016 season, and now you come to this year, we had 15. So it's just a testament of the structure, what Coach Smart demands of us as coaches in the recruiting philosophy, the everyday details, and the standard that has to be held and has grown, and just creating competitive depth where our guys are competing and where they can't get complacent is a pleasure, actually.
Coach McGee, we were watching during part of the open period the other day, your running backs take on inside linebackers. Can you tell us a little bit about some inside linebackers, considering you've had to replace 3 of them, and who's kind of giving your guys some trouble?
Yeah, I think all the linebackers are capable. With Pop, which that's Dumas. His nickname is Pop. He looked like an old man, so we call him Pop. But I think he's done a great job. Smile Money's coming off of injury. I think he has a very, very future and will continue to develop. Xavier Sorey, a really, really fast linebacker that has great acceleration and has a great ceiling on top of him. Jalen Walker, who just got here as a mid-year, possesses a lot of pass rush ability, and I think that's probably a better question for our defense guys. But all those guys are a handful to pick up on blitzes. So I know Coach Schumann and Coach Muschamp's going to do the best job to put them in position to make plays for our team. We're only in day 7. So there's a lot of answers that we kind of told once we scrimmage on Saturday, especially our younger guys really played or just got here. We'll see where we are from there after that scrimmage.
Hey, Coach, given your history with the city of Columbus, and you're talking earlier about your relationship with recruits and their families, and he's been talked about all offseason, hyped up, I was wondering, how long have you known about defensive lineman Micah Williams, and how that suspense watching his recruitment, and how did it feel finally being able to see him committed to Georgia?
It was definitely tough. Initially when he committed to USC, I've been knowing his pops and his grandfather and his uncle for a long time, so we knew we weren't out of it. So we just stayed the course, stayed consistent, and product speaks for itself. And Michael's a Georgia kid that loves Georgia. I think he's going to do things in an exceptional manner, which he has already. You can see the extra work and attention to detail that he has as a young player. He actually came and practiced with our team during the bowl week for a couple of days, and he went through 14 spring practices in the spring game. But even this summer, even days you would see on off days, he would be working. He's working on a Sunday, doing extra things to make himself a better football player. So you're getting a very, very hard worker, kind of unmatched from a hard work standpoint. And that's what you want out of a young player, so they can kind of influence their class as well as older guys that, hey, this is a standard. Look at what my kid's doing.
Let's take 2 more questions.
Dell, kind of going off of that, you guys have gotten talent out of Columbus, Phoenix City, continue recruiting in that area. Just as a coach down there, just what does that mean to you to see that area continuing to thrive, just in football and the
A lot of talent in that area. If you're counting Columbus and Phoenix City, Phoenix City of late has been really excelling on the football field. So you've had a lot of kids kind of cross over the river a little bit, but it's just a great area. It's always have been, always will be. Me being from Columbus, I'm definitely tied in that area. I'm in and I kind of know some of the kids before they even hit the high school marks that, hey, this middle school kid I already know about. I heard about the Little League running back. So I kind of got a little bit of a head start on everybody else. So we're able to get younger kids up to our camp and on campus and we're able to kind of build that relationship with those kids.
Coach one day, 7 years now, Georgia. You feel like you progress in that, desire to become a head coach? Should that opportunity one day present itself?
Like I've said previously, I really don't control that part of the process. I'm just very, very happy to be the running back coach at Georgia. Coach Smart has been a blessing to me. I really want to thank him for affording me the opportunity to be the running back coach here. So the opportunities that he allows me to in front of our football team and in front of our offensive staff as well. I mean, Coach Smart has done everything as a mentor that you can do for as a head coach, assistant coach. And he's very, very positive when it comes to his assistants moving on. We've had several assistants to move on to be head coaches, and just being part of his pedigree is special to me. But my main job is being the best running back coach I can here. I feel like I'm a head coach every single day because I'm in charge of the running backs and special team areas that I'm in charge of, and I take all my jobs seriously just like a head coach.
Thank you.